These 5 books will teach you more than any business degree ever will, because it's in these pages where real wisdom is. Although these books have been around for a long time, it's in these pages where you'll find wisdom and the fundamental lessons about money. Hey, I'm Wendy, and if you're a teen who wants to work on yourself, learn new skills, and become rich as a teen, this channel is for you. Today I'm gonna share 5 books every teenager should read because these books will literally change your life. These are the exact books I started with and books you can dive into step by step. And by the end, you'll know what kind of things you'll gain from reading these books and how they can truly help you. Number 1 is Rich Dad Poor Dad. This was the first book I started with because my dad will always recommend it to people, and honestly it's a very eye-opening book. This is a great book to start with because it uses children as examples and explains how things work in the real world and how you can make smart decisions about money. It's about some kids. They were around 7 years old and they were best friends. One of their dad was just an ordinary employee who followed the traditional path of school and work, while the other dad was a wealthy businessman. One day, the 2 kids wanted to start a small business on their own, but they needed good advice. So, can you guess who they went to? Of course, they went to the rich dad. And that's when the rich dad explained to them how money works in the real world and how they can build wealth like him. Overall, this was a really interesting and eye-opening book, and I highly recommend it if you're just starting out because this book will completely change the way you view things. Number 2 is Atomic Habits. This is the next book you should read to build powerful habits. This was a really interesting book too, and if you can actually apply the steps mentioned in this book, you can reach your goals much faster. Basically, in this book, they talked about how to build good habits and break bad ones. The author explained how you can make your habits more attractive by pairing them with something interesting. By making your habits more enjoyable, that will make you more likely to do them. Then the book explained how you can stack these habits together to form a chain of habits so that your body does one thing after another naturally. And as for bad habits, the author explained how you can make these habits less appealing either by linking them with a negative consequence so that you'll be too scared to do it again in the future, or by creating barriers that make them harder to reach. Overall, this book is incredible if you want to learn discipline or start a new habit, because Atomic Habits explain exactly how you can do that. Number 3 is The Richest Man in Babylon. This book talks about the core principles of money from the time of the Babylonians. This book will teach you how to spend wisely and how to live by rules that will make you rich. The story follows a man who was tricked and lost all his money, but he rebuilt his wealth and became the richest man in Babylon. It all begins when this ordinary worker trusted a brickmaker to help him sell jewels. Now, this is just ironic because why would you trust a brickmaker to help you sell jewels? Obviously, it was a mistake, and this is just the first lesson. There are plenty more in the book, so I really think you should read this book because it will broaden your perspective and shift the way you view money. Now, I'm not gonna say is because this chapter is not only about one book. It's about multiple books that will help you understand different feelings, different type of people you can meet in life, and how different people live their lives. And these are fictional books. I'm saying this because you see, if we only keep consuming practical knowledge, we risk becoming like robots. Yes, we can succeed, but life will feel empty because there are countless emotions and different type of people that we don't know of yet. So you can only stick to one thing or know one thing. I've learned a lot from reading fictional books. And it's not only books. You can watch movies and listen to songs too. For me, whenever I watch a drama, I always cry whenever a misunderstanding arises between the characters and they make decisions that hurt each other. And I always feel very mad at the villain for breaking their bonds. And just because I was so immersed in the experience, these strong emotions make me reflect on my life. Sometimes I think the characters are foolish and I tell myself that I would never do something like that. Fictional books and stories help us learn empathy, common sense, and how to react in real life situations, and they're just as valuable as nonfiction. Now the last one. This book is the best thing I've read in my entire life. And once I started applying the things in this book, I started to see a big difference in my life. And reading this book alone can make you millions of dollars. The final book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's all about communicating effectively and getting people to genuinely support your ideas. This book shares countless stories, explaining its principles and how you can use them too. It will teach you patience, empathy, and the importance of putting yourself in someone else's shoes before making a decision or reacting. If you want to persuade someone, you need to think of how you can persuade them. And if it doesn't work, try a softer approach. These people skills are priceless and they will guide you toward your goals. Extra chapter tips on reading books. Here are a few tricks I use while reading a book. Firstly, when I'm reading a book, I like to stay consistent by reading at least 10 pages a day. But if the book is really interesting, sometimes I will finish it in a couple of days. And second, while I'm reading the book, I highlight all the important stuff and I think through all the things they mention. Once I finish reading the book, I reread it. This time, paying closer attention to the details, reconsidering all the lessons, and taking notes. I only take a few days the second time around, and this simple routine helps ensure I get the most out of a book. And that's it. I just share my favorite life-changing books that you can start reading right now in order, and these books will transform the way you see the world. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, comment down below if you have any questions, and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one.